Hello, this is the part 4 of the video series on coordinate geometry. In this part of the video series, we'll be looking at the equation of a line. So if you have a line in the Cartesian coordinate, how do you determine the equation of that line? Let's say you have a graph for the line. So how do you write the equation that describes the line? Or if you're given 2 points, 2 coordinates, how do you write the equation of a line that passes through the 2 coordinates, the 2 points? Or if you're given the gradient of a line and a point that the line passes through, how can you write the equation of that line? So there are different scenarios that you can have. So let's look at different scenarios that we can have for this. Okay, but before we go into examples, I would like to write the different forms of the equation of a line. The commonest form of the equation is these forms of equation of a line. I think the commonest one is y equals mx plus c. Now, to use this equation, you need to use this particular form, you need to know the gradient of the line and the intercept of the line. So this means once you calculate m and you calculate c, or you determine c by any means, you can write the equation of the line. So in the final equation, y and x will appear. So the only thing you need to figure out will be m and c. So once you know m and you know c, you can write the equation of the line. Then another form is y minus y1 over x minus x1 equals m. So you will use this one when you have the intercept, for example, and you have 1 point, or you have the gradient and intercept directly. You can use this. If you have 1 point, so you know 1 point, which is x1, y1, and you know m, the gradient. So the information you know, if you want to use this one directly, you know 1 point that the line passes through, and you know the gradient of the line. You can use this equation to determine the equation of the line. Then another form of equation of a line is ax plus bx plus c equals 0. So these are constant ABC. So sorry, ax plus by, okay, plus by plus c equals 0. So that's another form. So if you know 2 coordinates, you should, and the intercepts, you can write the equation. Now, let's look at some examples. Find the equation of each line in the following. You have the line passes through zero, 4 with gradient 5. Then another scenario is that you have the line passes through 2, 1 and -1, 3. Then you have the line has a gradient of 3 and an intercept of 1. So before I go there, I want to quickly explain something. So what do I mean by intercept? This C. So let's say you have a line that is like this. So this line has an intercept. This is a C, where the line cuts the y-axis. So this C could be positive, it could be negative, doesn't matter. So you can have another line that goes like that. So in this case, the C is negative for this line, and C is positive for this line. So that's C. For M, you can have an idea of the nature of the gradient of a line by looking at the way the line slopes. So if the line slopes from left upwards towards the right, it's going to have a positive gradient. And if it slopes like this, from left to right downwards, it's going to have a negative gradient. So pay attention to that. So looking at the nature of the line, the way the line slopes, you will have an idea of whether the slope will be positive or negative. So if you do your calculation, and for this line, you have a positive gradient, you know that something is wrong. Okay, so let's look at the example. Now the first one is that you have a line that passes through 0, 4 with gradient 5. Solution. You have gradient 5 and you have a point 0, 4. Now, which equation are we going to use? It's up to you, but we can use equation 1, we can use equation 2. We can use the first form or we can use the second form. So I will use the 2 and show you that we are going to get the same thing. So for the first case, I want to use y equals mx plus c. Now, clearly, you can see that this 4 is the intercept c. Why? Because the x coordinate is 0, because you know that on the y-axis, x is 0. So I can see clearly that that 4 here is c. Even if you couldn't see that, you can still use this equation. So I know c as 4. Then what I need to do, and I know my gradient as 5, then I can write the equation. Y equals 5x plus 4. So this is pretty straightforward. But let's assume I couldn't figure out that 4 is the intercept. Then what can I do? Then I can write the equation like this. So this is the answer, but I want to solve it in another way. Let's assume I don't know that this is the y-intercept. Then I will do y equals, and now I know the gradient as 5, so 5x plus c. So what I need to do then is to substitute the point that I have. I have a point that the line passes through. If I replace x with 0 and I replace y with 4, I can calculate c. So here, y is 4 and x is 0. So 4 will be 0 plus c, and you can see clearly that c equals 4. So I can replace that c here with 4. Okay, so the equation will be y equals 5x plus 4. Okay, so that's if this was not 0, you will use this approach. So the second question, we have now the line passes through 2, 1 and minus 1, 3. 2, 1, minus 1, 3. 2, 1 and minus 1, 3. So you have 2 points. So if you have 2 points, the first thing you need to do is to calculate gradient. So if I make this point 2 and this point 1, then now I can find the gradient. Gradient will be equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So m will be, what is y2? Y2 is 3 minus what is y1? 1. What is x2 minus 1? What is x1 minus 2? So and that will give me 2 over minus 3. So it means that my gradient is what? Minus 2 over 3. So I know the gradient. Then I can write the equation. So the equation will be y equals minus 2 over 3 x plus c. So remember y equals mx plus c. Now, something is still unknown. I don't know c, but I can calculate c because I know 2 points that the line passes through. If I use either of these 2 points, I can calculate c. So let's say I want to use point 1. I will substitute x for 2 and y for 1. So I'll have 1 equals minus 2 over 3, 2 plus c. So I continue here. I'll have 1 equals minus 4 over 3 plus c. Then it means that 1 plus 4 over 3 equals c. So this one can be written as 3 over 3 plus 4 over 3 equals c. Then I'll have 7 over 3 equals c. So c is 7 over 3. So the equation will be y equals minus 2x over 3 plus 7 over 3. So I can write this as y equals minus 2x plus 7 all over 3. So if I cross multiply, then I'll have 3y equals minus 2x plus 7. So that is the equation of the line. So if you like, you can bring this minus 2x to this side, then you have 3y plus 2x equals 7. Okay, so that's the solution. Then the third one is this. You have that the line has a gradient of 3 and an intercept of 1. Gradient of 3, intercept of 1. So you have gradients m3, intercept c1. So this is easy. Y equals mx plus c. So y will be 3x plus 1. Okay. All right, so that is that. So let's look at another example. Here you have a graph. Let's say you have a graph and you have to determine the equation of the line. Say I have this point. They're told that this point is, let's say 4, 2, and this point is 6, 1. So let's say you have 2 points, coordinates of 2 points on the line, and you have to find the equation of that line. So this is y, this is x. What do? It's easy. It's the same as what we did previously. What you just need to do is first calculate the gradient of the line. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I make this my point 2 and this point 1, means that m will be y2, which is 1, minus y1, which is 2, over x2, which is 6, minus x1, 4. That will give you minus 1 over 6 minus 4. That will give you 2. So that's minus half. Now I know the gradient as minus half. I can write the equation. Though I don't know the intercept yet. Y equals minus half x plus c. So I can use any of these 2 points to figure out what the c will be. So y is 1 equals minus half, x is 6 plus c. So 1 equals, this can cancel this, 3 minus 3 plus c. So 1 plus 3 equals c. So c equals 4. So that means the equation will be y equals minus half x plus 4. Depending on how you want the answer to look like. So I can rewrite this as y equals minus half x plus, just to make sure that I have equal denominator. So this will be, if I multiply this by 2 and this by 2, then it will be 8 over 2. Then I will have y equals minus x plus 8 all over 2. To cross multiply, you have 2y equals minus x plus 8. So you can write this as 2y plus x equals 8. So that's the equation of the line. So depending on the form that the question comes, you should be able to write the equation of the line. So I hope that is clear enough. That will be the end of this video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.